You know, one thing that took me years to find out is that everybody who has ever accomplished something great in this world has had to visualize it first. I mean, for example, if you're going to break a board in karate, you'll never do it unless you actually close your eyes and see yourself doing it, actually smell the wood breaking apart. I mean, really see it happening. The man you're about to meet actually visualized something that even his closest friends told him he probably couldn't do. This is a great case in point. A man who on his 45th birthday said he wanted to carry 300 pounds up Lombard Street in under 5 minutes. He visualized it, and then he did it.
When the body fatigues, it's over with. The total body fatigues. The pain is so excruciating that you cannot lift your foot to go another step in your mind. You're in tears because you want to make that last 10 feet. My mind allows me. I have good control of myself to almost die, but my body won't go any farther, and that's one of the things that surprised me. I didn't think there was anything that would do that. This does.
Hang on, too close to the top now.
Paul Yazolino is celebrating his 45th birthday today. He's doing it by taking on the greatest physical challenge of his life. On his shoulders is 308 pounds, and it won't come off until he climbs to the top of the crookedest street in the world, Lombard in San Francisco. Of course, it could come off another way. He could collapse.
We have 600 feet to climb in approximately 5 to 6 minutes. If we don't make it in 5 to 6 minutes, then we're in trouble because we can't hold the bar any longer than that. I can't hold it any longer than that on my back. It's too painful.
Physical challenges are not new to Paul. In high school, he was a 130-pound weakling who got into weightlifting. He became so good he won or placed in 23 consecutive competitions until he injured his back. When that happened, he lost 50 pounds, bought a bike, and became a champion cyclist for 4 years. A hit-and-run accident ended that career, and his doctor said he should never lift weights again. But Paul began bodybuilding with such determination that at the age of 41, he won the Mr. USA Masters for men over 40. Now, at age 45, he's looking for a new challenge.
We worked on it a long time, wanted to do something that had never been done before, something that was a little bit a combination of different types of physical activities that would bring everything together, the heart and lungs and the strength of the body, and tie it into one type of thing. And the only thing we could think about is either walking a long distance or climbing a hill. And climbing a hill seemed to me much more difficult.
Climbing a hill like this one with 300 pounds on your back is not just difficult, it's physically dangerous. Some people told Paul impossible. He found a hill in his hometown of Oakland as demanding as Lombard and began to train. With each trip, he added a few pounds until he barely delivered 275. That was enough. He'll carry 300 pounds only once.
The walking, the motion of the walking is very stressful to the lower back because you're leaning forward. So it's not just like standing straight up and down. It's like standing straight up and down and then somebody pushing you about 10 degrees forward and telling you to stay like that for 5 minutes. Now walk, now climb. And it's a very compounded thing. Much more difficult than we thought. This is down here.
Fitness is a way of life for Paul. With a couple of partners, he owns 2 stores specializing in getting you trim and making you healthier. And up in back, in the offices of World Exercise Equipment, the lady keeping the books is Paul's mother.
I'm 45 now, but I think to my mom I'm still the way I always was, living at home, and she's very protective. Well, she's not overprotective, but she's very concerned.
He doesn't sound like a man easily discouraged.
Goodness, no. Paul pursues things right to the end. I really admire him for his tenaciousness. He sticks to something once he starts it and completes it.
One of the things Paul likes to do most is take his equipment to a local school where he talks to the kids about taking care of their bodies and staying healthy. And most important, tries to give them a better self-image.
Who wants to come in and try show me what they think?
You know, it gets me high. I get excited when I can go out and get in touch with the kids. They lack equipment. It's unbelievable how I think it'd be a phenomenal thing if we could ever get the understanding that what these kids need is, in order to get their brain functioning correctly, we got it sometimes backwards. You don't you know, get this straight and then get this straight. This thing helps this. If you feel good physically, if you look good physically, you can almost feel like you can do anything. People will be asking me, well, what happens if you fail? And I'm trying to not deal with that, because the reality is that when you fail, you can deal with it then. I don't want to deal with it now. That we'll deal with the beginning, like I have said before, and we'll get to the top. But in between, whatever happens, we'll deal with it right at the moment. But there's no sense in talking about what's going to happen in the middle. We've trained hard. We're going to start, and we're going to end somewhere, hopefully at the top.
With a training partner on each side, Paul begins the grueling birthday march. For the next 5 minutes of his life, every step he takes will be more painful than the last.
This is one of those things where when the end comes, it's finished and it is not one more step. If you can get within 10 feet of the hill and the body quits, there is no more. The last 50 feet is probably the most painful part of the whole thing, and your heart, it just goes really, the pulse rate goes up really high, and you see the top of the hill, and it's just an overwhelming feeling that you've come this far.
Paul's heart is pounding like the hammers of hell. He's so utterly exhausted that even when the bar is removed, he falls of his own weight. It's then that he hears the most uplifting sound of his life.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Paul.
I'm happy doing these types of things. People say you're crazy and this and that, but I'm 45 years old and I'm the happiest time of my life.